I want my own children, but she don't want to have no more. I want my own children, but she don't want to have no more. Oh man, what a touchy subject. What's going on, family? Good morning to everybody. I pray y'all are doing well as we out top. Give the Most High all the honor, the glory, and all praise and worship. Thank you, Yahushua, who hung, bled, and died. This topic right here, very sensitive subject. And this is not to down ladies, of course not. Many of us in this life, if you older now, and you are in the faith, especially in the faith, you've learned from your mistakes. You've done some things in the past. You know, some of us don't even want to forgive our own self from the past. And you are letting your past dictate your future. When you done prayed and asked for forgiveness, and the Most High forgave you, but you can't find it in your heart to forgive yourself. And you hold on to that. Many men out here would love to have a woman with no children. Many women out here would love to get married to a man who don't have no children. A lot of men out here will accept a woman with her children. A lot of men won't. There are a lot of women who already had children, or just say one child, who don't want no more. Here go the killer right here. What's the age? Because for women, when women hitting about 35, 36, I'm gonna just even say 30, that gets hard on a woman's body. Now let's look at that for a minute, fellas. That's not making up excuses at all. That woman does have to carry that baby. Her body gonna go through a lot. And you've seen it when women who've gotten older have had some hard complications and even losing a child because of the age. I've even heard doctors say, if you're 36, 37, it's going to be difficult. But all things are possible with the Most High. Man. And when you find a man that can accept you for you and your children, that is a blessing. You got men that were down other men. You're a fool for taking care of another man's child. That fool walked out of his responsibilities. That's what I hear all the time. But then it's a blessing. Because first of all, children don't ask to be here. And if you're going to accept the mama, you're going to accept the daughter, or if it's the sons, whatever, whether it's a boy or girl, you're going to accept it. And the problem with that becomes a play when, if they too old. See, it's kind of, it's a little bit different when you can get, if you got a woman and that child is, let's just say, 3 or 4 years old, yeah, but when you start talking about 8, 9, 10, 11, or they was already a teenager, that's where the problem really come into play at. And then you got to realize a lot of children are full of anger. Where my daddy at? Or they may not like you, or they may feel like they being mistreated or treated like a stepchild. See, when you look at life itself and what you pray on, the Most High will answer your prayers. Do you know how many women that are very good women, and that's the choices they made in their young days, so they learned from it. But when you got a woman that continues to make those same choices, pick those same type of sorry, no good, baby daddy dudes, she done became that. You see what I'm saying? And who you are with says a lot about who you are. But that situation takes some serious praying and talking, because some men feel like that's very selfish, that you already have your own children and all he wants is his. But then you say, I don't want no more. This is my body. You ain't got to go through this. Da, da, da. And you're right, that is your body. But then the Bible says your body belongs to your husband. That's the part a lot of women don't like to hear. See, I look at it like this, especially if a woman is 30-something years old. and you already got children, then you meet a guy and he want his own. It's like, that's a serious conversation you got to have. But at the same time, that man knows off top in so many ways how you feel, especially if you see. This is why it's so important to throw everything on the line, and then you gotta be careful who you lay down with out here. You gotta be real careful with that, man. You might be laying down with, man, you don't know what. So I understand when women are protecting themselves, but then at the same time, here comes a man who has no children, and he done raised the children that you have from the get-go. That's the only daddy they know. See, it's some men out here that's not selfish. It's some men out here that don't mind, but then there's some men that don't. So it's just according to who that type of person is. Because I've seen children, I don't even like to use the term stepchild, but I've seen that destroy marriages. We've seen it so much, and you may be watching, and you be like, yeah, Jay, I went through that, or Jay, I'm going through that, or Jay, I ain't even trying to go through that. It just depends on who the person is and what you're going to accept, what you're going to take in. So that's a serious conversation that you got to have with each other, serious prayer, serious fasting. But I've seen it been done. I've seen it being done. It has been done. Or when you got this person right here that they done already had, their children, and then the woman be like, but you know what, baby? I don't mind. I go through that. I go through it for you. I want you to have your seed. But then you got the woman out here to be like, this is it for me. This is it for me. I told you I already got 3. I already got 2. This is it for me. I'm not trying to go through that again, man. This baby right here took my body on the roller coaster ride. So yeah, you got to look at, and that ain't being mean, ladies. You got to look at that. You're not being mean to me with that, because you got to look at health issues, because there have been women that have tried to have baby when they got older and they died on the table. They died in the chair, however you want to look at it. They died, man. Them complications were so heavy that it took the mom out. There's a video years ago. Y'all remember when Aaron Hall came out with that song, I Miss You? And when she became pregnant in that video, she had to make a decision that it was going to either be her or the child. That's tough. That ain't just a video. That happens and have happened a lot. And the mom had to make a decision to let herself live or let the child live. They both weren't going to make it. And a lot of times they let the child live. That's not an easy decision. And you know what the old folks could say, girl, you can make another baby. Live your life. But how many times have a woman became pregnant and the complications were so heavy and the child died? See, I would have had a sister. Me and my brothers, we would have a sister right now. But my mom lost her daughter. She don't mind me saying that. And I know she think about that a lot. She got all boys, 4 boys. But she would have been the oldest. So we have to look at the complications, the situation. But then, like I say, I've seen it where all women are not like that. They'll say, I want you to have your seed. Because, see, it's very important for a man to have his own seed. The inheritance, when you look at all that, especially when you look at it from a biblical standpoint, especially having a firstborn son, not to take no credit away from the daughter, but when a man has a son, he's looking at his legacy. You hear men all the time talking about legacy, legacy, legacy. Me, on the other hand, I don't really talk about legacy. I just look at things from a biblical. Anything I can leave my children, the most thing I can leave them is wisdom, the word. Because if they have the wisdom and the word, money will be nice too. But look at how many blow money. They need to have the wisdom to know how to handle the money. I'm kind of like Solomon when it comes to that. Yes, they can have everything I got, but the most important thing I can give them is the word of the Most High. Put that word in their heart, and then they'll have the wisdom on how to control them finances and learn from that. But most men, I'm just saying that because from a worldly standpoint, you're going to always hear the word legacy. I even heard Mike Tyson say, man, he didn't care nothing about no legacy. Once he started learning what life was all about, and he didn't have the money like he used to, And he said how money was destroying him. He said making that legacy, and he said them belts, everything didn't mean nothing to him. He found out life was way more important. His family was way more important. And then you got a lot of men that they have really woke up in life, and women too, and done woke up the things that used to matter to them don't matter no more because they living for their children now. So when that man don't have children, and then you got to realize the disrespect that comes along with when you're not the daddy. You got to throw it in there. But it comes on the upbringing. But when you have a woman that's been raising by themselves, and then here comes a man on the scene who's about his father's business, our father's business, that can become a difficult situation. I talk to a lot of people, and it gets ugly. It gets ugly in these situations. But then on top of that is, who do you know got a perfect relationship? Because I don't know nobody. So that's just something, again, I hope and pray I've said something that you can grasp from. But that's a tough situation when a woman have already had children and she don't want no more, especially if she passed 30, 33 years old, 34 years old. And then a lot of women don't want I don't want my body to get messed up. Again, you don't have to carry no baby. I do. I got to take time from work. But see, on top of that, but then you got a man that's willing to carry that whole load. He loves you. He's showing you with his actions. You got some men out here, man, hats off to them. They have went to the extreme, knowing, well, they ain't really my child right there. But they love them children just like they his own. And ain't nothing wrong with him wanting his own. Especially if he know, man, I got a good woman right here. I'm willing to try. I'm willing to make it work. I love you that much, and I'm gonna love you past your pain. I'm gonna love you past your past mistakes, because baby, I got some too. And we gonna go from here. But here go the thing as I close, you gotta be willing to put in that work. And that work ain't easy. You gotta be willing to put in that work, and you gotta keep putting in that work, because when it's not your own, it can become a tough situation. But then you got people that the children love and respect the one who raised them. Keep in mind, children didn't ask to be here. So that's just my little 2 cents on that. You got people that put up with this type of situation, then you got some that be like, no, that's okay. I'm going to go on with my life. Once again, it just depends on the individual. So y'all give me some feedback. Love y'all. Have a blessed day. Shalom.